Florida Real Estate State Exam Flashcards, 58 questions with explained answers. Flashcard 1. Term. What is called when created by filing a declaration of trust with the Secretary of State? Definition. Common law trust or Massachusetts trust. Flashcard 2. Term. For multiple claims against a licensee, the FL Real Estate Recovery Fund has a max of how much? Definition. $150,000. Flashcard 3. Term. What is called when any real estate advertisement doesn't contain the registered or trade name of a broker? Definition. Blind ads. Flashcard 4. Term. What was sold in 1968 and became a for-profit stockholder-owned corporation with stock traded on the NYSE? Definition. FNMA, Fannie Mae, Federal National Mortgage Association. Flashcard 5. Term. What federal law requires lenders to fully inform borrowers of important information related to loans, including the annual percentage rate charged? Definition. Truth in Lending Act. Flashcard 6. Term. Telling homeowners that minority families are moving into their neighborhood in an attempt to get them to sell their home and move would be what? Definition. Blockbusting. Flashcard 7. Term. When a seller is about to enter a fiduciary relationship with a brokerage firm, what must be given? Definition. Single agency notice. Flashcard 8. Term. Broker bill gives lower rental rates to women rather than men. What is this a violation of? Definition. The Fair Housing Act of 1968. Flashcard 9. Term. What illegal act is known when the licensee picks the properties for a buyer based on their race? Definition. Steering. Flashcard 10. Term. Three friends buy a property together with equal shares. If they have the right of survivorship, they have created what? Definition. Joint tenancy. Flashcard 11. Term. What principle states the value of a component of the property that is the amount added to the goal value of a property? Definition. Property of contribution. Flashcard 12. Term. General partners in a brokerage partnership that are not qualified to perform the services of real estate must be registered as for what? Definition. For identification purposes. Flashcard 13. Term. What are the 7 things that the Fair Housing Act of 1968 prohibits the discrimination based on? Definition. Race, color, sex, religion, handicap, marital status and national origin. Flashcard 14. Term. What law required that buyers be given a good estimate of closing costs prior to closing? Definition. RESPA, Settlement Act. Flashcard 15. Term. What and when was the case that caused the prohibiting of all discrimination in all sales or rental of real property? Definition. In 1968 Civil Rights Act of 1866, Jones v. Mayer. Flashcard 16. Term. The ownership of a property actually transfers from the grantor to the grantee when the deed is what? Definition. Delivered and accepted. Flashcard 17. Term. What are some exemptions to the Civil Rights Act of 1968? Definition. Private clubs, rental of rooms, churches, frats. Flashcard 18. Term. If someone other than the grantor was to receive ownership of the life estate, it is called? Definition. Remainder. Flashcard 19. Term. If the probable cause panel determines that the probable cause exists, an administrative complaint formed and is also known as what? Definition. Formal complaint. Flashcard 20. Term. What was created by 20 years or more of continuous uninterrupted use of a portion of another person's property? Definition. Easement by prescription. Flashcard 21. Term. What type of possession is adverse possession? Definition. Involuntary. Flashcard 22. Term. In rental information, when a tenant is within their timeframe, what would get them 100% paid back and what would get them 75% back? Definition. 100% if broker misrepresented what was offered and 75% if tenant did not like or accept the offer. Flashcard 23. Term. What are the 2 mortgage insurance premiums required on an insured FHA loan? Definition. UFMUP, upfront mortgage insurance premium, and AMIP, annual mortgage insurance premium. Flashcard 24. Term. Purpose of homestead exemption is to protect the surviving spouse and children and to exempt property from foreclosure for what? Definition. Debts other than direct debts and federal liens. Flashcard 25. Term. When there is a dispute over escrow funds, the procedures include 4 choices. Which choice involves a third person recommending a solution? A. Arbitration. B. Mediation. C. Litigation. D. Escrow disbursement order. Definition. B. Mediation. Flashcard 26. Term. In the Landlord-Tenant Act, how many days does the landlord have to inform his tenant what he is doing with the deposit money? Definition. Must inform tenant in 30 days how the deposit will be held. Flashcard 27. Term. Salaried managers of condos are exempt along as rentals are what? Definition. No greater than 1-year leases. Flashcard 28. term, triggering terms all contain what? Definition, an amount of something. Flashcard 29, term, a deed must be what? Definition, witnessed. Flashcard 30, term, all information related to an investigation of the probably cause panel are confidential until when? Definition, 10 days following a finding of probable cause. Flashcard 31, term, for single judgment against a licensee, the FL Real Estate Recovery Fund has a max of how much? Definition, $50,000. Flashcard 32, term, what is the main purpose of Regulation Z? Definition, for lenders to disclose the true cost of credit to consumers. Flashcard 33, term, what is a legal principle when a person takes exclusive possession of the owner's property? How many years must they have possessed the property to make it legal? Definition, adverse possession / 7 years. Flashcard 34, term, what are the characteristics of value? Definition, demand, utility, scarcity, transferability. Flashcard 35, term, how is the FL Real Estate Fund funded? Definition, from licensing fees. Flashcard 36, term, the following are exempt from FS 475 except a. Trustees for an estate B, personal representatives for an estate C, mortgage brokers engaged in financing activities. D. Business brokers. Definition, D. Business brokers. Flashcard 37, term, what is the period during a VA's peacetime and military conflicts eligibility? Definition, peacetime 181 days and conflicts 90 days. Flashcard 38, term, what happens when a loan is sold to another lender and has title insurance? Definition, mortgagee policy is transferable to new lender. Flashcard 39, term, what do you call any mortgage loan obtained from any source including the seller when the proceeds of the loan are used to purchase real property? Definition, purchase money mortgage, PPM. Flashcard 40, term, a broker receives a kickback or referral fee from a title insurance company. This practice is a violation of what? Definition, RESPA. Flashcard 41, term, which secondary mortgage market original purpose was to purchase conventional loans originated by Saving and Loans Association? Definition, Freddie Mac / FHLMC, Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation. Flashcard 42, term, if a licensee does not dispute a citation it has the same effect as what? Definition, final order. Flashcard 43, term, what is it called when two people share one office space and seem like them be in a partnership but are not a true partnership? Definition, ostensible / quasi-partnership. Flashcard 44, term, the part of the deed which states that the grantor was in possession and has the right to sell the property is called what clause? Definition, season. Flashcard 45, term, what is used to show ownership in the event of a foreclosure? Definition, certificate of title. Flashcard 46, term, a group license A, allows a broker to have a branch office B, allows a sales associate to work for more than one broker C, may be held by a sale associate or broker associated. Allows a broker to qualify more than one broker firm. Definition, C may be held by a sale associate or broker. Flashcard 47, term, where do the funds come from that commercial banks provide for mortgage bankers? Definition, from demand deposits in checking account and time deposits in saving accounts. Flashcard 48, term, a reconciliation and final value estimate. Definition. Flashcard 49, term, to induce and cause panic to a seller to sell their home due to influx of minority is called what? Definition, blockbusting. Flashcard 50, term, appeals of FREC final orders must be filed where? Definition, District Court of Appeals. Flashcard 51, term, what is a single mortgage given by a borrower that pledges two or more parcels as security for loan and what does it usually contain? Definition, blanket mortgage / release clause. Flashcard 52, term, a U.S. Department of Community Affairs produced Booker regarding the energy efficiency of buildings that must be provided to any purchaser is called? Definition, energy efficiency rating disclosure. Flashcard 53, term, what is the max penalty that a court could impose a second-degree misdemeanor? Definition, $500 fine and / or 60 days of jail time. Flashcard 54, term, what is files so that all potential claimants are required to appear in court and assert their claim? Definition, suit to quiet title. Flashcard 55, term, how much is the yearly fee for brokers and sales associates that are maintained by FL Real Estate Recovery Fund? Definition, $3.50 a year for brokers and $1.50 per year for sales associates. Flashcard 56, term, what must every active or inactive licensee complete prior to the renewal during every 2-year license period? How many hours? Definition, 14 hours of commission-approved continuing education. Flashcard 57, term, actual notice is what? Definition, possession of property that can be seen and heard. Flashcard 58. Term, what and when was expanded from the Civil Rights Act? Definition, Federal Fair Housing Act in 1968, Jones v. Mayer.